Johnston, and I'm the president of Cook County College Teachers Union. We represent full-time faculty, full and part-time professionals, and security in the city colleges. And we are here because our mission is for the comprehensive open enrollment community college. And we're also here because the policies of the city colleges is going against that and violating that mission. And we're here specifically because of the closing of child development programs on the south and west side, specifically Olive Harvey, Kennedy King, Daly, and relocating those programs to Truman College in the uptown area. This will have an enormous hardship on students trying to get to the north side. It will devastate these programs, and it will take needed support services out of these communities. When this policy was communicated to our faculty, they said that our faculty said this policy is wrong and would not work. They urged the administration to reconsider this. They knew that this would be catastrophic for the child care centers in these communities who needed trained professionals. The administration told our faculty that this decision was already made, their input was not needed, and they were to go along with this policy.
City colleges are under attack. What do we do? Stand up, fight back! What do we do? Stand up, fight back!
Since July of last year, students and faculty have come to these board meetings to tell the board that this is a bad idea, that students cannot make this trip, that this will take vital resources out of these communities. The board has responded with silence. That is why we are here today. Our board, like the CPS board, is appointed by the mayor. It is not accountable to the community. It does not hear the community's voice. This has been obvious over this past year. And for that reason, we have legislation that would make this Board of Trustees an elected school board. We have aldermen that have either signed or have supported a resolution to have hearings that will look into the impact of these closings and the relocation. And we are calling on the city council to call these hearings as soon as possible.
It is ridiculous that child care workers, working women, working men have to travel across the city, in many instances hours, to get the credentials and the education that they and our children need and deserve. Do they not get it? Do they not get that the city colleges of Chicago were created to serve working people like Maria and the workers behind me? Do they not understand that these are working people who it is a struggle for them to find childcare for their own families to make it across the city in time to take these courses so far north? It is ridiculous that this is the system that they're choosing to follow.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Alderman Scott Waguespack, Alderman Taliaferro, Alderman Arena, Alderman Ramirez-Rosa, and several others signed a resolution back in October and gave it to the mayor and said we wanted to have hearings about this situation of closing these schools and forcing parents and students to go all the way across the city for early childhood education classes and the myriad of other classes that have been relocating people or will be throughout the city. It's the wrong idea, it's the wrong way to go, and it further derails the education opportunities that people need in this city. When we look at what's happening with our education system, from early childhood development all the way up through higher education in the state, it's deplorable. It's absolutely deplorable. So the only way to get this done is to start taking action, and these teachers, these parents are doing that just right here today. Now, what we've asked for through our resolution is to have hearings, and the mayor could easily do this if he would just step aside, get off his hands and say, yes, let's talk about this. Let's figure out how to solve this problem instead of making it worse. So we're standing here today with all these folks here who are doing the right thing, making sure that our children have every opportunity available to them to have a better life, to make sure that every teacher can teach in the location that they need to, and to make sure that every parent has the education opportunity that they deserve. What's happening here today with city colleges is wrong. We've got to change that. This city needs to change the direction they're going in, change the policies that have become worse over time. City colleges needs to listen, the mayor needs to listen, and we're here to do that just today. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Alderman Taliaferro, 29th Ward, and I stand in support of my colleagues, Alderman Ramirez-Rosa, Alderman Waguespack, and Alderman Arena. We are asking this city to give us an opportunity. We're actually living in a crisis in the city of Chicago, and that's a crisis where we are experiencing more violence than we ever have in the most recent years, in the most recent decades. To reduce that violence, we need educational opportunities in our community. We need jobs in our community. We need economic development in our community. But today, the city colleges is asking our students to jump through smaller and smaller hoops just to get educated, and that is not fair. In essence, what they're doing is they're taking educational programs out of communities that are experiencing high volumes of crime, high volumes of shootings, high volumes of homicides. And we're asking them to jump through smaller hoops by going to a centralized location. We're asking the city colleges and the board to look at that, because we're not going to fight crime by taking educational opportunities out of our communities. So I stand with my colleagues, I stand with the city colleges, because we need to make a difference in this city, and we need to ask our mayor to open his ears and ask that board to open their ears. Thanks a lot.
I'm standing here representing Child Care Advocates United. The change that they're proposing, the city colleges consolidating early childhood into Truman College, would be devastating for our industry. It would start to unravel the fabric of our industry. Most of our teachers are locally grown. They come from the community. I operate 2 centers on the west side of Chicago. 85% of our students, of our staff, came from Malcolm X College. Where would our staff come from if we were no longer able to recruit from the neighborhood, recruit from our parent base, recruit from the women and men around the neighborhood? Then where will we recruit from? We're not going to get people from the north side to come to the west side or come to the south side of Chicago. We're going to deplete the fabric of our institution. So if we care about keeping our communities intact, if we care about educating our children, if we care about employing and building the workforce in our city, then we have to have these centers and these educational opportunities available on the west and the south side of Chicago. It does me great sadness to think that the people, I have a parent who I recruited, put a flyer on the door, recruited her to come to be a part of this industry. That parent just came in with a high school diploma. We worked with her to alternate her schedule so that she could go to Malcolm X College and get her certificate and get her associates, and now is getting her bachelor's degree. We cannot support, it's very difficult for providers to support work in collaboration with the city colleges to build our infrastructure if we have to give a whole day off, or if people just can't work because they can't take the time to travel 2 hours there and back across the city. It's very integral, it's very important that we keep these industries and we keep these educational institutions in the community.
We want to keep community and community colleges. This is our slogan. This is a chance to have our voices heard. Let's make it happen. Thank you.